Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Rohin here, and I welcome you all to another episode of the Agency Growth Lab. And this is where I focus on how entrepreneurs rose above their noisy online market with their proven strategies to grow their agency to the next level. And today, we've got a very special guest with us. And you guys know him by a popular marketplace called Legiit. And he is no other than Chris Walker. So, Chris, I welcome you on board, man. And I'm super excited to talk to you today about your entrepreneur journey and how you started off this marketplace Legiit and have taken it to the next level. So yeah, I'm super pumped about it. Thank you. And today's guest is one of a popular name in the digital marketing agency, and that's no other than the guy you already know with the name of Legiit and the face behind that, and that's Chris Walker. So, hey, Chris, how are you?
Doing good, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Chris. So, how's the weather up there? Good?
Well, we had a bit of a hurricane earlier in the week.
All
Uh,
right. All
yeah, a
right.
lot of rain. I think it was on Wednesday, but it's Friday as we're talking, at least for me. It's Saturday for you. It rained really, really heavily that day, but other than that, it's been beautiful.
Yep. You're based in North Carolina, isn't it?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. All right. That's great. It's probably be too late for you, I guess, because when I try to look at the interview time, I noticed like it's a 12 hours time zone between Marcel for yours, so it's probably be like 10:30 or 11 o'clock for you, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yep. It's 10:21 p.m. right now.
All right. Yeah, no worries. That's great. That's great. Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate that.
No
All
problem.
right. Yeah, so Chris, we know each other, if I'm not wrong, for past 7 years now, and there was a time when we started off together. I guess there was Conquer. Conquer was one of a marketplace at that time. It's very much dead now. So, so now we won't talk about Conquer. Maybe not. No point of talking about it. So yeah, tell me a bit about yourself, man, because we know what has been changed in those 7 years, but maybe I don't know, or maybe the audience doesn't know like what it was before, what the Chris was doing before that. So how the whole journey actually started from what it was before and how it's these 7 years now.
Okay. For me, it's been closer to 10.
All right.
And basically, before I did this, I was working as a level one tech support for a real estate development company.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of like credit card debt, and I wasn't very happy with the job. I like to add this because like I liked the people there, but I just wasn't happy for the job. I was the problem and they weren't. So some of them still watch, and I feel like I hurt their feelings when I say stuff like that. Um but then I just wasn't making enough money. So one day I was screwing around and I looked at this blog I used to follow that was about professional wrestling, and it was gone. But there was a one-page thing there about how the guy said he wasn't doing the blog anymore, but he was now making his living doing affiliate marketing and so on. That page is still there, by the way. I checked it recently. And I was like, I'd never heard of affiliate marketing before, but it sounded really cool. So I started looking into that and Googling and searching around and reading on like Warrior Forum and Black Hat World and learning about that. And I started a few sites, and I had one that was doing really well until October 2013, which was the Penguin 2.0 update. And that I didn't even know what I was doing was called SEO at the time, by the way. I just thought I was doing affiliate marketing, and I knew that I was ranking in Google, but I didn't realize what I was doing was SEO. And the way I was ranking was using a tool called Magic Submitter to rank that site. And then that was building just a bunch of spammy links, which worked back then. But then that update came and those went away. And I had no idea how to fix it because I didn't even know how I did it in the first place. But so I went back to the drawing board. I bought a course called Bring the Fresh that had gotten me to that point. And then I bought another course called Source Phoenix, which was an Alex Becker course, even though he didn't really do most of the teaching in it. And that's when I started. That was a big investment for me. That cost me about $1,000, which was a huge investment at the time for me at the time. And what I did was I because it was such an investment, I felt like I had to make it work. So that's when I started doing affiliate again, and it's when I started doing client SEO. And the way I would do that was I would just send emails to businesses. I had no clue what I was doing, but I would send emails to businesses while I was at my other job. And if I had to make a call, I would go into the bathroom and make the phone call there so I didn't get in trouble at work. And I did a little bit of that, and had a little bit of success here and there, but not enough to really get out of the day job still. And then on a whim, one day when there was a new marketplace that had opened up, it was called Source Market, which eventually became Conquer, and then eventually I think went out of business. Um, I just on a whim, I threw up a service that I was reselling from Fiverr, and I got a sale. I was like, I remember this specifically. I was at the gym, I was on the elliptical, and I got this PayPal notification, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it took me a while to even realize where that came from. And I made a sale, and then quickly I made another sale and another sale, and it did well. And then I had this tool called Sinwire, which has since gone out of business, that I
Yes.
wasn't using. So I started selling individual campaigns on that, and then somebody promoted that, and then I started getting a lot of sales and making pretty good money from doing freelance SEO through that marketplace, and that really took off for me. And I started funneling those customers into a Facebook group, the Superstar SEO Facebook group, which really helped me grow a lot. And that was
Yep.
going well, and that was what gave me enough revenue to finally quit my job in 2016. And so then I quit, and then I did that for a while, but then that website started falling to pieces, as you remember, and like getting hacked and all these other things. So I set up a store on my own website and started selling through there. And I had met like people like yourself and some others had through that other website, and they started asking could they sell through my site too. And I was like, sure, but that didn't really work that well. And that's when I met a person who was a customer on that other website, my partner Jim, that's when we started working together, and we started building Legiit and launched that in 2018. And I thought it was just going to be like another product for my business, Superstar SEO, like another thing. But
Yeah.
like almost immediately, it became my biggest revenue driver, and it's just taken off since then. It was first just another marketplace, and now we've got all these community and all these people having all these success. And now we're building software and stuff into the platform and doing things that nobody else has ever done. And it's been quite a ride. So that was probably longer of an answer than you were expecting, but that's my last decade and how I got here. So,
Yeah, no, I remember Alex Becker, one of our name, and his kind of videos, which were very much straight to the point. Because I've seen a lot of gurus, they try to actually move around the points, and when they're teaching out anything, they just keep on extending out, make those long videos. But Alex was kind of a guy used to come straight to the point, bang, take actions, boom. I started off from the same one too, Alex Becker, back in 2012. I remember from SourceWave, and I guess that's where how we met together
yep,
in 2015 at when that Source Market was there. But yeah,
yep.
that's one of a good story. I actually made about like $500,000, I think 600,000 something from Source Market as well. It was a good one going on at that time, but I guess the opportunity was for you to move on because there was no kind of a right kind of a marketplace at that time for the SEOs specifically, because there was a
Yeah,
lot of
I didn't start Legiit to be specifically for SEO, and it's grown well beyond SEO now.
yeah.
But that's still where a lot of the customers come from, because that I had a following in SEO, and it just kind of attracted people that were talented at that. But yeah, I mean, that was never my intention, was to make an SEO marketplace. I just wanted to make a marketplace, and I kind of emulated that other one and did some other things on my own. And
Yeah. Yep. And that actually takes me to the next question is like, what kind of challenges? Because running a marketplace is not a joke. It's not a very straightforward thing like where you can just go buy some maybe like header ready to go script, or maybe even to code out a script from some coders and get it on, because there are a lot of challenges involved, I guess, behind the scene. When we say
yeah,
behind the scene, it's more kind of like a finances. They are the real people finances been playing around, I guess. So I'm very much sure there should be some damn crazy kind of a challenges, especially at the very start. You guys have actually faced with Legiit as well, because today Legiit is not just a marketplace. It's kind of a lifesaver kind of a thing for the thousands of freelancers who have their bread and butter, who are surviving their families on Legiit. I've seen that kind of testimonies everywhere. Even for me, we are getting a lot of like sales and everything from Legiit. And I always want, I remember like my partner was, I was talking to my partner the other day, and he said like, I was like, we need to spend big on Legiit, because Legiit is, don't just consider it as a marketplace, but consider it as a lead generation machine. It's a machine where the agencies are coming in. We are getting an opportunity, especially sitting in the global space in the third world countries, to actually go and touch base with these people and grow our business. So challenges is always a big thing. So what kind of challenges did you face with Legiit, tell me?
There's a lot. First of all, the margins on a marketplace are razor thin. Even when our average sale has gotten up to around 103 or $4, I forget now, over a certain time frame, you figure that's still $15 a sale that we're making as a site. If it's $100 sale, so we have to do a lot of volume to make some money. Like, I'm not going to lie and say we're not doing well, because we are, but the perception of how much money this makes is probably off in most people. So my point in that is, in calling that a challenge, is, it's not like with like a client service where I can sell $5,000 and I have $5,000 that day. You know what I mean? The margins are very, very thin. So you have to be really strategic with how you deploy your capital. Another challenge is that you have to you're growing two businesses at once, because if you have too many freelancers and not enough customers, then the freelancers start complaining, or they don't do as good a job or whatever. But if you have the reverse of that and you have too many customers, then the freelancers either can't keep up, or they can't there isn't somebody there to do the thing that they need. So you have to, like, you can't just focus on growing one of them. You have to grow them at the same rate. It's kind of a chicken and egg type of problem.
Yeah.
So that's a big challenge. This industry attracts a lot of terrible people that have tried to like hack, like DDoS us. Like the day that we launched Legiit 3.0, back in 2022, one of our former, well, I suspect one of our former sellers, but I don't know that. Cut that part out. Somebody decided to pick that day to do a DDoS attack on the site.
Yeah.
And we got through it. It didn't take the site down, but they were trying to sabotage us. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But and we get those all the time. We had one a couple weeks ago, the day after we launched a new version of the site. So there's always that. There's always all kinds of fraud. Like I've been posting about one this week about the guy trying to commit credit card fraud, and just so many different ways people try to fuck us. I hope it's okay if I swear.
Yeah.
Okay. There's so many ways that people try to fuck us that we've never thought of, that we've had to adapt to and adapt to and adapt to. That's a big challenge. It's a little beyond my understanding, but the technological side of it is pretty challenging. There's a lot of moving pieces. Like the servers and Cloudflare and all these other things. Like one little thing can make the site not work right. So that's a big challenge. And then the payment processors. Oh my God. We've had our PayPal, like, I don't know, it's never been shut down. I have nothing bad to, believe it or not, I have nothing bad to say about PayPal.
Yeah.
They've been very, very good to us. And I have a rep that I can get on the phone, and it has really saved us every time that we've had a problem. So overall, we're doing okay with them, but like there's so many restrictions. We had to get rid of like Google reviews and social signals, and we had get rid of anything with marijuana or CBD. And I'm not talking about actually selling pot. I'm like, links for a CBD site, we can't sell those. And like there's constant problems. And then there's the other problem of juggling all the money that comes in and like making sure that it's in the different accounts. So if somebody spends with their credit card, say they spend $5,000, now that and then that freelancer does that work and expects to get paid their $5,000 minus 15% through Payoneer, I have to take that from the credit card processor to the bank to Payoneer to pay out the freelancer. So it's constantly juggling, trying to keep enough money in enough accounts, but you don't want to leave a lot of money in those accounts because they might just decide to fuck you one day and close your account. The banks can't do that, but the payment processors can. So those are some of the challenges like that. And then there's other people that like want to see you fail or think they can do a better job and things like that. And they will, there's a lot of just unethical people that will, like, sometimes freelancers will try to take people off the site, and to save themselves on the 15%. Sometimes customers will buy things they don't understand and blame the freelancer for it not doing the thing that it isn't designed to do in the first place.
Yes.
So yeah. And then another one is advertising. Advertising, like paid advertising, is not as simple for a site like this as it is for like just a regular website or your lead gen site, or like I see some of your ads sometimes. Like yours are pretty straightforward. Like you put an ad and then it links to the thing that you want them to buy.
Yes.
Like it's not that simple for us, because like we have to, like, we might run an ad to a service and that freelancer disappears.
Yeah, you guys have got like thousands of pages on that one, so it's probably gonna be like a partiality, like sending the traffic to one and then another one, not the other one. So yeah, it's not that easy.
It's not just that, but like you might run ads to something and then you don't control the product, so the freelancer might just pause their service. So finally, we eventually got partnered up with a really great Facebook ads agency that does good for us for that.
Yes.
So yeah, that's there's probably other stuff I'm forgetting, but that's some of the
no, I can imagine that, because one of the major one you said is the credit card scams. I know it's been happened. It has happened with us numerous times, like when the people they use those Chinese Union Pay kind of credit cards, and then you just deliver the product and everything, and then later on the second day the disputes are start coming because they make like multiple transactions to keep cover them up. And then you're gonna notice like all those series of disputes start coming, and then the problem starts in is Stripe. The Stripe has got a they won't listen to you, like they only see the disputes. They see, okay, this guy has got like this much percentage of disputes in this particular time. They just go and close the account without even listening to us or even giving us an opportunity to justify us, like, hey, we are right.
In our industry, when you try to fight a dispute, you're never going to win.
No,
like, I won't say never, but you're almost never going to win.
Yeah, and I guess that's where the Legiit sport is really very good, because they always try to look at both the factors. They are not just giving all the weightage to the buyers only. They even look at the freelancers as well. A lot of times it has happened with us, like we were genuine. The buyer was keep on coming with all those different kind of requests, but Legiit support, they said, no, we feel at this point the freelancer is genuine with what they did, how they responded, or how they have delivered the product. So the case is going to be closed in the freelancer side, which is a good part. Because you probably won't see that kind of thing with the other marketplace. I won't call a name, but that's you won't see with them. So
I'm both me and then my business partner and some of the other people have been on both sides of it. Like we both have agencies, but we're also freelancers. So I know what everybody's pain is, and I think that's one of the advantages that I have over other marketplaces and things like that. Although I don't think of us as a marketplace anymore, and we'll get to that. But I think that's an advantage that I have, is I'm still one of our top freelancers, and I'm still one of our top customers. Like I've spent $400,000 of my own on Legiit.
On Legiit, yes.
And I've made $2.5 million just as a freelancer. So my point is, I do that one because it lets me lead from the front and show the example to other freelancers, but also so I can continue to understand like how to make the platform better, because I'm doing both.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's, and when I bring that up because you said, well, what you said about the way we handle disputes and things like that is, I want the person that's right. I'd love it if no disputes ever had to happen, but that's not the way the world works. But when that happens, I want the person that's right to get the decision in their favor. And sometimes we even get like ambiguous ones where we can kind of see both sides. So we'll end up eating the loss and pay out the freelancer and refund the customer.
I agree.
We think that's the right thing to do sometimes.
Yes. So, I agree. And it reflects a good karma as well. And then version changes. I've seen like we started off with version 1, 2, 3, and now you guys have launched the version 4. I've never seen that kind of version changes with the other marketplace, like a Fiverr has been in the space for quite a long. I think it's like once only when I've seen their whole revamp kind of thing. But version changes, when I say the version changes, you actually not just adding the features only, you are actually bringing in the entire new landscape of the whole thing. The whole dashboard has got changed. The whole experience actually got changed too. What I've seen. So what was the mindset behind that? Why did you actually, you guys decided, like you, James, or someone, you guys sit together and you decided, I guess this is a time for a version change now. Why was that? It was really required.
Um, if you mean the most recent one?
Yeah, the most recent one could be a good example. You can take it. Yes.
Okay. Well, that one we really looked at the state of the industry and in the kind of like the global market, and realized that marketplaces are really becoming a dime a dozen, and that any little boy in their parents' basement can like try to create one in a weekend. And there's literally like a community that I was in part of for a while called Everything Marketplaces that has like 20,000 marketplace founders. And I bring that up because it shows you just how much there are. Now they're all in different industries. They're not exactly the same kind of thing, but it shows you how done it is. And we're doing at this point is like taking each other's business. And I realized that I want this to continue to thrive and to help people. So we have to go in a bit of a different direction to achieve that. And then I also I re-examined why I got into this in the first place. And it was for two things. On the customer side, I didn't want to work with everybody. I didn't want to work with individuals as much as I wanted to work with businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is I want to work, whether it's like a small cheese shop or a huge agency or something in between. I want to work with businesses like that. What I don't, and then there's nothing wrong with what I'm about to say, but who I'm not after is like people that just want to buy a video of a guy that looks like Jesus singing happy birthday to them. I think Fiverr has that covered really well. That's a real example, by the way. One of the top sellers on Fiverr is a guy that looks like Jesus. They like
Yeah.
will say whatever you want in a video.
I know what you mean.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I don't want that to come off as me criticizing them for that, but I feel like they have gotten that covered, like that type of person covered.
Yep.
I want to work with businesses, and that's what I'm good at, and that's who I'm good at talking to, and that's what I want.
Yep.
And then on the freelancer side, no disrespect to anybody that's watching this, but I didn't get in this to help low-level freelancers lazily make money. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will come from Fiverr and they'll just literally copy and paste their Fiverr description onto Legiit and try to do that. And then it's low quality. It's not necessarily low quality, but it's low value stuff. Like I'll do 40 high DA links or whatever, or flat, modern, minimalist logo design. It gets the same low effort stuff and then they expect to just list it and to start getting seen and start making money. And that's not the freelancer I want to work with. I want to work with really talented people that can really help improve somebody's business. For example, you guys put a lot of effort into your not just your services, but in the appearance and the quality of the way they look. And I want people that are going to do that. And then people that are going to build a business around it and just use us as kind of like the home for that business. So that's one of the reasons that, so you asked me why I decided to make those changes is because I had reevaluated what kind of customer I wanted to work with and what kind of freelancer I wanted to work with, and realized that we had to make a change to accommodate that. And then one of the inspirations for it was also the Steve Jobs biography. And that's a wonderful book, by the way. Anybody that's watching this should go read it. It's an Audible book. It's like 26 hours long, literally, but it's well worth it. But at one point when they were first coming out with the everything, iPod, iPad, iPhone, he was talking, his vision was originally to have the Mac be the hub of everything in your life, your phone, your music, and like that in the center, and then all these things coming off of it, and then eventually change that to be iCloud to be the center as opposed to the Mac. But that was his vision for it, and that's kind of what I wanted, was a platform and not a marketplace, a platform where every business in the world can come in and plug in their business, and then they instantly have the things that they need. They have the training, they have the information via our software. They have the talented people to do it for them. And then they have everything they need. So they have to come back to us every day and spend more money. But also because I want it to be literally that plug and play. They plug their business into the site, into the platform, and it sprawls out from there. So I feel like I'm giving longer answers than you asked for, but that's why we did the most recent version change. The ones before that were, cosmetic and feature updates and things like that. But this is the really the biggest change.
Yep. With Legiit, a lot of time what I've seen in the groups that people scream about is I open up a profile, but I didn't get any sale. It's more kind of like a publish and pray approach they're doing, like, hey, I published it, but pray like some sales really gonna come. And for me, I know the reason, but we want to listen from you. Like, what could be one of the reason that they are not getting the sale, and what the best tricks, like couple of tricks or so you reckon for them who've been listening this video, like to take their profile to the next level where there is a constant flow of orders start coming to them over time?
Anyone that has ever come to me with that complaint, with maybe a handful of exceptions, but let's say 95%, maybe 99% of the people that have complained about that don't deserve to make sales. And when I say that, it's because they don't offer something that people want. And I think that's the part that most of them don't get, because they see these like low end, easy, low effort. I don't want to say low quality because it's not necessarily low quality, but like low effort stuff that they can do on the $5 marketplace. They like list like these low energy things, and over there they have enough, like a big enough pool of customers that they'll get low information people that will buy that stuff. But we have a more sophisticated clientele because we're working with businesses, and they don't want the stuff that these people are offering. And so I guess the answer to that is they need to work on offering something better. Or if they are going to offer the 10 web 2.0 whatever's, come up with a unique angle on it. If you look at his name's Mir, and I'm gonna do him the courtesy of not trying to pronounce his last name, but there's a freelancer who's SEO ranked 90 on Legiit named Mir. He sells a lot of those kinds of services, but he has packaged them in a way and does a better quality of work for that same sort of thing that he gets sales pretty consistently. He was just posting today about a big order that he got. But my point is that they need to offer something people want, and then they have to make it look like something people would buy, and they have to use persuasive copy, high quality graphics, images, video, all these things to dress it up. Fiverr doesn't let them do that, and I get why they're not used to that. We do, because we want them to be professional marketers. And then they have to market themselves a little bit too. Like, one of the common questions I get is, how do I rank my gig? Is like, first of all, we don't have gigs. And second of all, you don't need to be worrying about ranking and showing up in some freaking algorithm. You need to go set up a proper business and market it, and then use the tools we give you to make that easier, rather than tinkering around, worrying about how many click-throughs and all this other crap. Business is not a math equation to be solved. It's a business to go out and produce. And they don't get that. And I think it's because other marketplaces have taught them bad habits. And for a lot of people, it's just a way to do something easy to make some extra money. Or in countries where 10 or 20 bucks a day is life changing, they want that kind of easy money for them. So I think that's kind of the answer, is to build. You asked me what they can do. Make sure that you're offering something that people want. You're displaying it in a way that people will find that they can trust. And then you're telling everybody that you can think of about it. I think those are the things that people can do. So you ask for tricks, those aren't really tricks, but basically what I'm saying is you have to deserve it. If you want success, you have to deserve it. And the people that ask me that, almost with a few exceptions, they don't deserve it.
Yeah. No, I agree to this because visibility is one of the main things. So, for everyone who really wants to get some kind of like orders, what Chris has said to, first of all, we need to actually show it like a legitimate business. The business should be something, and that brings back to the another thing, which is the kind of learning. People have to put a time and effort in the learning
Yeah.
to get new skills, to have new experiments, to have a testing kind of a thing, to flaunt it off in on their Facebook profile. So people should know about it. And then there are a lot of like advertising stuff. Legit has been offering as well in case they want more visibility on their profile, and they are new, they don't have much reviews. You guys, I think you guys do provide kind of a review copy, allow them to have a review copy as well. So that is one thing. So is it kind of a limit on the review copy? Like, hey, you can give only like 2 review copies or 3, or is it like they can
I
have?
think it's I don't remember, to be perfectly honest, but I think
Yeah.
regular freelancers can get 1 per service, and then Legit plus freelancers can get 3 per service, and then that's it.
Yes. So it's
And I
that's
straight up, I'm not gonna lie, I straight up stole the concept for review editions from, well, let me just put that differently. I straight up got the idea for review editions from Warrior Forum. That used to be a big thing back on Warrior Forum.
yes.
And
Even Blackout World, I remember they do have a same kind of thing as well. But yes, it's just a way to get inside. But after then, they have to show their credibility, and then they even can use the power of those paid advertising as well. We've been doing the same thing, and I admit completely, like there is a lot of sales can come actually using the paid advertising by Legit as well. So
yeah,
if the people are missing out, they should take it. It's very much the heavy, they just get picked up very quickly, but
yeah,
to take an opportunity to freeze the slots, and that really
yeah.
gonna be helpful to take your
We're
career.
always opening more paid advertising opportunities, because we literally can't keep up with the demand for them.
Oh
Like
yes.
we're having to get really creative to find more options to give people,
Yeah.
because PQ and like Rushaba, I believe I'm pronouncing that right,
Yeah.
and who else? Well, I won't give away everybody,
Yeah,
but
Rishabh Sharpa, he has picked a lot. We guys have picked up a
yeah,
lot for next year as well. So, but yes, there's still a lot of ways that they can advertise and they can do it on
yeah. The
Legit.
point I was making though is you guys are thriving, and he's thriving, and you've both spent a lot of on advertising. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
take
no,
criticism for that sometimes, because people are like, why should we have to pay? I was like, because we have limited marketing that we can do. And I
yes,
want to work with the people that are the most dedicated. And the way that you show me that is by paying,
yeah,
and as well as being, loyal and doing a good job and taking care of the customers and stuff like that.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm going to
yeah,
spend the advertising capital that I have on the people
yeah.
that deserve it the most, and not on the people who just listed a service and think if they're entitled to a sale.
Oh yeah, because a lot of they do have to understand like all this advertising capital is actually going to Legit, and Legit is going to spend the advertising capital on a different things, even on their Facebook ads, Google ads, that kind of things as well. So it's a chain reaction which is actually happening in some way. So yeah, no, I agree to this. And yeah, so I'm very much sure, Grace, Legit has got a very bright future ahead, because a lot of people and their blessings and everything is going along with that too. So that's something really going to happen. So just a few questions about the 7-figure agency. I know you have got a very good experience running the 7-figure agencies as well. Even your personal one is going great. So what do you think? What's your personal experiences? A multi-niche or a niche specific agency? Which one do you think works much better?
It just depends. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages. The approach that I like to take, well, I shouldn't say that. It's not what I did myself. If I had it to do over again, what I would do is I would focus my outreach around a particular niche. So I would
Yes.
be the agency for, I don't know, wedding photographers or something, and I would focus on that. But if somebody outside of that niche came to me, I would still take them on if they were a good client, or
Uh,
somebody that's an ideal client. So I think that's the kind of a blended approach. That's the way to go. But the advantages to a niche in a specific one is you learn how to talk to them, and that's really important as you scale, because you learn what the things that they care about are going to be fairly common throughout a particular industry.
Yep.
So that gives you an advantage. If you build your own link network, then you have ones in that industry that you can help, you can use more effectively. And then you can get word of mouth going, because like you have like people in industries have other friends in the industry that aren't competitors, and they'll recommend you. So that's the advantages. The disadvantage is, by being niche, you shut off all this other opportunity. You might be the dentist SEO agency, and there's a roofer that needs your help that you can't help because you're the dental SEO agency.
Oh, yes.
So that's the advantage to having a non-niche one, is that you can work with anybody. But then the problem becomes that you are just all over the place with your outreach, and you're not focused and whatever. So you end up having to have like a little bit different skill set. So
Yep.
I'm not going to say one is better or the other, but the approach that I would take if I were starting over would be to focus my outreach around a particular niche.
On a particular one, yes.
But like take on
any
the
kind
people.
of client on board.
Yeah.
Or
Well, almost.
no, I think it's a good one, because that way we can understand the pain point of that particular industry as well, to whom we are going to outreach all through. And then, but if any other client is coming on board, then why to say no? We guys can, I mean, like, you can take that as well. So it's a good approach, I guess. And the second one is a lead gen. Lead gen, trust me, is one of the biggest pain that everyone is really getting right now in the industry, because the market is very noisy. It's very crowded now, and everyone just using paid media and that kind of things. But I guess there is a lot more other than the paid media as well. And that takes me to your one of our app, which is Legiit Leads, I guess. And the way you blend it, I've seen that particular video and that particular script as well on ChatGPT script, where you actually took the information from Legiit Leads, and then you use that, feed that information, I guess, by code interpreter or something. I don't remember that, with the ChatGPT prompt something. Can you tell us a bit about that? And then I'll put that video link in the description of this YouTube video as well.
Okay. So to first answer your question about that, as I had my friend, I found a script, or what do you call it in ChatGPT? A prompt that would like come up with an SEO plan for a business if you just fed it a couple pieces of information. Yep. And I showed it to my friend Roy, who's really, really good with ChatGPT and AI, and he made it a lot more robust. And then then I have my tool Legiit Leads, where you can put in a niche, an industry, and a need. So like they need SEO, they need whatever, and it'll spit out people that you can contact. So what I did was, in that video, was I would find those businesses through Legiit Leads, and then make the SEO plan for them, and literally just email them the SEO plan that you made with ChatGPT. So you could smash out 100 of those in a day if you wanted to. So that's kind of that. And then you asked me how to do lead gen in general. I think what's worked for me is what I call the celebrity method. So I've kind of made myself into a celebrity in the industry, so people come to me, and I do that via like content and networking and paid advertising, and like using paid advertising to turbocharge the content that you make, and just constantly being omnipresent everywhere as people go. And that's kind of worked for me. So, but that said, that's a longer play. So you have to do other things. If you have to pay the bills today, that you got to start with the cold, just pick up the phone and dial, or smash out the email or whatever.
I agree. Or else the affiliate marketing kind of things is still bigger, like a rank and rent, where you don't need to find people. You just need to focus on actually getting your sites up, and then the next step has to go, which is to find the people at that time to rent out those sites and selling them the leads as well. I've done that a lot in the doctor niche, and it just works great. Rank and rent is still a very successful method for the people who haven't started out. But yes, I agree with you. And this is how I know you actually picked up the entire lead, that celebrity method, where the constant flow of the videos has to be coming every single day. A lot of other people in the industry, like Alex or Mosey, and even Russell Borson, they picked up the pace in the same fashion as well. It's one of an evergreen method, I always say, like content marketing. And of course, it takes a lot of effort as well. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of effort in the form of like getting up with the ideas, generating those videos every single day, like consistently is the main. Because what happened is, like I always say, noisy market, the people, they lose the track very easily. They just watch some videos and they feel like, okay, now forget about this one. Let's go to this particular method. Maybe it's more kind of a shortcut, but in reality, there is nothing like a shortcut. And everything comes with their hard work over the time.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, you don't, if you just want to run an agency and just have your clients and live your life, you don't have to do that approach at all. Like, but that's what worked for me because it's my skill set. But I know agencies who just do the traditional, outreach and networking and things like that and do very, very well. Legit's kind of a different thing. So,
Yeah, yeah. And all right, so last two questions I've got, Chris. Number one is the AI landscape. AI has been changing the entire landscape of the industry now. The things has changed even for myself, for our basically agency. We have changed all the SOPs in the last 12 months. All the SOPs has been changed. A lot of things has been improved, I would say, in the form of productivity. So yeah, do you think like how whole this thing really gonna happen in the next 12 to 24 months, you reckon, with the AI getting clever day by day, and people are getting more rely on that? I know it's just breaking out a bit of a creativity in the people as well. But yeah, we just need to go with the flow, I guess, sometimes. What do you think?
yeah,
What do you
I honestly, I don't think the change is going to be as fast as people think it's going to be. It has in the last year because ChatGPT was kind of game changing,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's gonna. Like, you can see that's already started to decline some.
yeah,
If you look at Google Trends, but I'm not saying I think AI is going to play a big role in the future. I don't think it's going to be like an early or late 90s internet type of thing where it's like constant evolution. I think it's going to hit a wall very soon. And if you think about it, it kind of has already. Like all the AI apps that you see people putting out, they're all the same, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sure that's an oversimplification, but I don't think it's going to be quite as rapid of a change it has in the next few years as it has been in the last year, I guess is what I'm saying. Having said that, it's definitely had a big impact. Content writing in particular, I feel bad for for content
yeah,
writers because our content sales on Legiit have definitely declined since ChatGPT came out because people prefer. Personally, I don't think the content is as good no matter what anybody tells me, but it's really obvious to me when I read AI content. But people are using that instead of hiring content writers. That's one big change that the SEO and marketing industry has had a lot. And in general, I think it just makes you more efficient. Like you can if you can't think of something, you can use that to get you started,
yeah.
and things like that. So I don't know. I don't like to make predictions because there's nobody really knows, but I don't think it's going to be quite the breakneck pace that we've seen in the last year over the next few
Yep.
years. It almost feels like a trendy type of thing. But
Yep.
that said, the technology is still going to change the world for
Oh,
sure.
no, that's great, man. That was really lovely talking to you today, and I'm sure there's a lot of things we all learned from it. A lot of people who've been struggling with to get their first orders on Legit. I'm sure there are plenty of golden nuggets, the one which you have spilled up here. So this is really good to help them too. And no, thanks for that once again, Ma. I know it's very late for you now, so I won't take much of your time. And thanks once again, Chris. It's always great. Every time we try to come on this kind of like a calls together, there's always great to learn something new from you every single time. So now, thanks for that, Mike. And I wish you luck for the great future of Legit as well.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. And again, it was a good time. So
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah, no worries. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.